a lot of relationships don't go anywhere. Not because these people are bad people inherently.
Yeah.
Right? But they enter the relationships for the wrong reasons. Is that sustainable? Right? For the person who married because of money, is that what they thought? Did they think that this marriage was about money? Or did they think that, I've got a partner in life? There was no way Adam was going to be fruitful by himself. There's a fulfillment that comes from doing what you were made to do. And part of what you were made to do is impossible without your spouse.
Hey guys, so what happened was
What it was
we were talking, having a great conversation, and we didn't forget to hit record, but we forgot to introduce.
Yeah.
Actually, wasn't they forgetting to? We're just talking.
Off the cuff conversation, you know. Yeah.
So
I think Esther said something, and that triggered Tunde.
Me,
and I had to intervene.
Absolutely, that's not actually. Well, you know what? That's how it went down.
Okay.
Exactly how.
Well, we'll see.
Right.
When you guys watch, then you'll be able to.
Yeah, you realize. But yeah, when you see this, you clock, or you hear this, whichever medium, you clock that. Oh yeah, this is something. But it will make sense. It will make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, we appreciate you guys, and
please enjoy the video.
Yeah.
Unfiltered.
I told him today, I was like, you're one of the smartest people that I know that can sit down for exam. You study maybe 2-3 weeks, you take an exam and you pass. He just had a IT auditing exam, like a 4-hour exam. He only maybe studied a couple of weeks. He sat down 1 a.m. in the morning. He took the exam, passed. I said, I don't know. And he's taken many exams like that. The one time you have come back, you've told us that you passed. I'm like, this is why I married you, because you are smart.
Stability.
Yeah, that's a good reason. That's one of the better reasons. I've heard a lot worse. And honestly, I realized that if only we could just be honest with each other, right? People tell you what they think you want to hear. Then you find out that actually they were doing the exact opposite. Every woman says, Pastor, I'm not interested in his money. I've not met one that actually says, I choose him because of his possessions. But then when you now talk to them and say, why aren't you talking to this one? He doesn't have a job. This one. I thought you said he wasn't. But are you ready to look after a woman? Yeah. Are you ready to take on the woman?
You have to be realistic.
Your woman is a woman a burden. Is a wife a burden? Isn't the wife a helper?
Yeah. So
you are saying, am I ready to take on a car note? That's your car note now. That's what it means now. Like, are you ready for a mortgage? Because as you see me so, a mansion mortgage, yo. That's the implication, right?
I mean, I don't know why people, I think we're not even really recording, people over-glorify marriage. I don't get it.
I can tell you why. Because there's something innate in all of us, right? That God did not build us to live alone.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
But
you can have community, right? Unless because the only thing a marriage will bring you is a safe and secure place to get intimate.
No,
right? That's not true.
It's more than that.
What else? What else could you not get in a companion?
In an ideal, okay. So forget about sex for a minute, right? The reasons why we are not as open in our marriages, or we're not as emotionally benefiting from our marriages, because we're emotionally deficient, right? The Bible says the two, right, become one. But what we get really is 75% and 25%, right? We're not whole.
Given time.
Yes, we're not whole. So the full benefits, right, of that relationship are lost to us, right? Because we do not come to it with all our emotional faculties intact, right? We're dysfunctional. So we enter these relationships and then create dysfunctional relationships, because you got two dysfunctional people. And then you look at the relationship and say, this relationship is dysfunctional. What's the point, right? There's a level of intimacy you should have with your spouse. I want to say intimacy. I'm not talking sexual intimacy, right? That you cannot have with someone else. There are things that I should be able to say to my spouse that I can't say to my best friend.
I can't.
Right? There are aspects of me.
So like that. I guess I'm struggling with that. Like what can I not? So what, for example, what would it be that you'd say that you cannot say to your best friend, but you?
My deepest fears, right? My deepest fears. My most treasured secrets, right? That I do not trust any other human being with. Right? If you are trusting your best friend, right, with your deepest fears and your most intimate secrets. It means that you and your best friend are in a relationship that God did not design for friendship. Right? The two shall become one. You've become one with another person that you are not meant to be one with. Right?
Yeah.
There's something about the intimacy of marriage, the sexual intimacy of marriage, right? That should make it easier.
Right. For to be more vulnerable and more
To be
real.
naked.
Yeah.
To be
I see
naked.
that.
That's
Yeah, I
the
see
idea.
that.
You can't be naked in front of everybody.
Yeah, I see that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I see that.
You can't be
Yeah.
physically naked. You also are not supposed to be emotionally naked. Constantly in front of anyone
I
else.
think we think we are with our friends, but we're not. Yeah, we're
That I
not.
guess that's why because the way I'm seeing it from a standpoint of like how you talked about the heart posture, right? At least that's how I interpreted it earlier on. So if you have a spouse that is not whole, and then you pour out you're supposed to pour out to that spouse, then it leads to
Dysfunction.
dysfunction.
It's dysfunctional.
But if you have a friend that is whole,
You can't have a friend that is whole.
but why?
Because it's not possible. Because the same friends are the same people in other marriages. Right? We are all broken.
Right.
All of us are broken.
Right.
Right?
But to your point, some of us are honest about our brokenness, which is step one. Right?
To be honest about your brokenness requires a level of self-awareness
Right.
that many do not attain until their old age.
And we think we do. And then we're constantly met with, oh, we actually don't have it right. We actually don't have it right.
Yeah.
Self-awareness, right, is not one of those. It's like a lot of practical knowledge, right? It's acquired through experience. Your experience with yourself,
Right.
right, reveals stuff to you about yourself. Just as your experience with people reveals stuff about them. There's certain situations you've never been in. So right now I can ask you, Tunde, how would you react if this happened? And you will tell me,
But
right,
You never
based off
enter-
of what you
yeah.
think,
Yeah.
right? But then when you get into that situation, you react in the exact opposite.
Right.
You're like, wow, is that me?
right.
Right? Yeah. That level of self-awareness comes with experience, right? And by the time you have acquired it, yeah, you should not be, how will I describe this? Part of the journey to it is that is the intimacy of marriage, right? Because in marriage, you're supposed to discover the other person, but you're also supposed to discover yourself. And you're supposed to grow, right? In these casual friendships that we have that are based on free will, so to speak, there's no contractual or cultural or communal obligation to that relationship. Those are much easier relationships. Much easier. If you vex me, man, I take off.
I can give you 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Right. But I still feel like, I don't know why, I guess I'm struggling. I still feel like, for me, fundamentally speaking, it has to be the human being, regardless of their role, whether it's my mother or my friend or my father or my wife. There are different roles that you play in my life, fair enough, because of your title. But I'm not respecting your label. Right? Like, I'm not going to over-glorify the fact that you're my mom. Like, I'm loving Christ first and foremost. So if I get that from my friend, I will tell you, if you ask me where's your brother and sister, I'll say my brother and sister is right there.
Yeah, but do
you know what I mean?
But that's not quite accurate because the title, right, many times creates
The expectation. And
the expectations,
how you interact.
the interactions, the dynamics, right, and the limitations of it, right? There's certain things that consciously and subconsciously, educationally and experientially, that you will not interact with your father on. No matter how open he is to it, right? Let me give you a classic example. Your father should always approach you from the place of care and concern, right? Your father's predominant, as a father, my predominant instinct towards my children is protection, right? I think about them from the perspective of protection from provision, right? That affects my interaction with them. No matter what is going on, I'm always dealing with them from that paradigm.
And that's
right?
based on the role.
And that's just take my title away. It's visceral, right? It's innate.
Okay.
Take my title away. It's visceral. We can be friends, right? We can be friends, but a friend will say to you, "Let's go skydiving," right? Yeah. A father, I would never say that to you. because immediately I see all the dangers of it.
Yeah.
Right? So if you come to me and say, Dad, I want to go skydiving, I'm going to do everything I can to shut it down.
Right. Because my primary concern is to protect you.
It's to protect you.
Yeah.
But I would say that it's because of the rule.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I guess, maybe I need to, maybe for me, it's like, okay, because my friend wants to go, obviously, the example, but he wants to go skydiving, does not mean that is the quality in which will allow me to open myself up to them. There are some qualities I think that you see in certain people, whether they are your spouse, they are your parents. Because there's some parents that, like, I heard the story, I don't know how serious this was, but a guy that, like, a family killing. I don't know if you guys saw that one recently, where he was a teenager that killed everyone in there.
That's mad.
Yeah. And then he got intoxicated and then I think called the cops or whatever. Some of them actually killed themselves too, but and in that context, my process was that I don't know, obviously we don't know what's going on, whether there's abuse, we don't know the details of it, but that's still your father, that's your mother. Right? Then they're supposed to, quote unquote, protect you. And you're supposed to, quote unquote, acknowledge that protection and then in your own ways. Not that you won't rebel. Yeah. Right? But that is still a family unit in which there was chaos. Yeah. So for me, even if it's a family unit in which the father plays their role, that is not necessarily a reason as to why I would, or my spouse, I would open up to you. Not because you're my wife or because we are one, but because of who you are. And I think by what I see on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely. But you have to also understand, right, that some of these things, right, are not even, it's not even a question of statutes or community. It's a question it's innate and inherent. It's built into us. Like I said, it's visceral.
Yeah.
The love that you have for your children, nobody taught you, right? This child comes into the world, and you know as soon as you see this child that you will lay down your life for this child.
Even
right?
bad parents.
Yes, right?
They feel guilty whenever
they do
wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So, some of them do.
Some.
Right? But the point I'm trying to make is that there is an obligation, right, that a person has to you, right? That is the consequence of their role. Yeah? There's a sense of responsibility that affects my interaction and my dynamic with you. That is because of my role. Take away that title, right? And there is a change. Yes, my character makes certain benefits available to you. But there's a difference between being obliged to do something and then doing something, right? If I am obliged to sit down and counsel with you because I am your pastor, when I am not your pastor and you come for counseling, I'm a good guy, so I'll sit down and listen to you. But in the back of my head, man, if I have something else to do, Tunde, man, I got to see you later.
Right.
But now this is all I have to do,
right?
And it extends into marriage, right? You don't open up and share your heart with your spouse and all your intimate secrets just because they're your spouse.
Right.
They have to be the kind of person you trust, right?
I guess that's
why you would marry somebody you don't trust is another question.
I mean, you kind of already answered it because you're looking for the wrong.
You're looking for the wrong things, right? But you marry the right. You're looking for the right things. You marry a good person, right? You should be able to open up to them. But because they're your spouse,
I agree.
There are certain responsibilities that come with that. Number one, the desire to protect you. The knowledge that my fate and my destiny is attached to yours. So whatever it is I am doing, right, I am doing it in a way that benefits both of us, right? It is not a question of, well, I want to, I don't want to. I'm tied to you, right? Your friend is not tied to you. Every good thing he does for you, it is, out
of choice, out of love.
Yes, out of whatever reason.
Yeah.
But he's not tied to you, right? Your spouse is tied to you. Your destiny is her destiny, right? Is his destiny, right? But with your friends, man.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That is why even the law, right, will never ask your spouse to testify against you, right? Not because your spouse may not, know the facts. But because inherently your spouse, your destiny is attached to your spouse. We can't trust your spouse to testify against you? You know what I'm saying?
If she sees something, she might say she didn't see it.
Yeah,
something else.
Because
no, I get that.
It's complicated in that way.
Yeah, I get it.
But I understand what you're saying. I mean, you should have friends. You can. Marriage is, we reduced marriage right? We've reduced marriage. When God said to Adam and Eve, right, he says, be fruitful, replenish, multiply, and have dominion, right? Everything that Adam was supposed to do, he was supposed to do it with Eve, right? There was no way that God looked at Adam and said, he looked at everything he made and said, everything is good. Then looked at Adam and said, it is not good that he's alone. Adam was good, but it was not good that he was alone, right? And so God made Eve. Then God gave them this mandate. There was no way Adam was going to be fruitful by himself, right? And there's a fulfillment that comes from being fruitful, right? There's a fulfillment that comes from doing what you were made to do. And part of what you were made to do is impossible without your spouse, right? So there is a level of fulfillment in life that you cannot attain, or you were not meant to attain, right, without that person, right? So let's use fruitfulness, for example, right? You can be fruitful on multiple levels, right? But at the basic elemental level of humanity, right, you cannot be fruitful without a spouse, right? These days, I mean, we're sleeping with everybody, so you can have kids, right? But ideally, you cannot be fruitful without a spouse. And that is one of the basic...
to multiply.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Because imagine you just growing a family. What you could have grown with 2 people, now you have 3, 4, 5 people.
Yes.
It multiplies.
Yeah. So ultimately, you can't get the full experience of humanity. Let me not say that. You were not meant to get the full experience of humanity outside of that context, right? Like I said, you could have friends. And if you're multiplying with your friends, there's a problem.
Right. That's the angle I'm going to. Hopefully, I'm not giving go and multiply with your friend. I'm not pedestalizing friendship or kinship or marriage because there has to be something fundamentally
for all roles.
Yeah. That qualifies you, not because you are my pastor, you're my friend, or you're my not for or against.
Right. But then when you say that we are idolizing marriage, for example, right? I don't know that I would call it an idolizing of marriage. Yeah, because again, marriage is a context that God created to fulfill certain human desires. Right? So it's like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. The only way that I can sleep well is if I'm on a bed. I can sleep on the sofa. I can sleep on the couch. But the only way that I can really, really sleep well is on the bed. That's where I was made. I'm going to pursue that bed. Right? I'm looking for that bed. My whole life is defined by that bed because sleep is such an elemental part of my nature. Right? And that is what marriage is. Yeah? We can sleep anywhere.
Well, it's not going to be as comfortable.
But it's not the same thing as a bed.
You can sleep on a bed is designed
for sleep. Yes.
A chair is designed to sit. Now you can sleep on a chair.
You can sleep on a chair.
But it's not the maximum outcome
exactly.
of
it. So we can have
that's a great analogy.
We can have single parents. I mean, biologically it's possible. Right? Technologically it's very possible. Right? But the ideal, and every human being knows this. Every human being knows, except they're educated to know otherwise. But every human being knows this, that the ideal is to have these children in the sanctity of a union, right? We all want kids. Let me not say we all want kids. Most of us want kids, right? And we know that the ideal is in this context.
Yep.
We're going to pursue that context.
Yeah, I think the what I'm thinking about was what you said earlier on, like the way I know. Let me use myself as an example that I'm idolizing or something is if you marry someone because they are strictly because they provide, like if you marry someone strictly because of their finances, even if that is designed for I'm not I don't want to use that ability.
No, because I want to be clear. I would marry someone if I knew what I was getting myself, if I was I really understood what I wanted to do, what I wanted for my life, and it was for financial gain. Then people make that decision all the time. I would make that decision.
Right.
But I know what values I have as an individual. Some people, they only care about certain things, and so they marry whoever they want to marry for that reason. Right. But guess what? Even in the marriage, even because of that reason for money, you still see how there's a oneness that still comes as a
Really?
result of them being.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's the argument.
Is
I
that
was making
possible?
for.
I don't think
That's
it's
what I mean,
possible.
Yeah,
I think it
I think
is.
if you marry for reasons beyond what God designed it for, I think that's idolatry. Only because you are choosing marriage as a means to an end for your own.
Yeah, but I
pleasure.
also think like
that's why I define it.
okay, so if you think about like the principle of sowing and reaping,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, for instance, let's use the ground. If you sow into the ground, you do all the things that you're supposed to do, it will bear fruit.
100%.
Even if you don't do all of the things, because of the nature of you sowing into the ground, something will still bear fruit in
Absolutely.
that. So in the same
Absolutely.
way, I think there are fundamental, like, natural things that God has put in place that if you jump into the thing will somehow
With
happen.
marriage is different. With marriage, if you marry somebody because of their money, you're literally throwing your seed in the air
on the
right?
sidewalk.
on the sidewalk and hoping,
Breads up.
Right,
hoping
right.
that
That wind will
somehow
blow it.
That it lands in
Yes.
on fertile ground.
Yeah, that's literally what you're doing. Because you hitch your horse to somebody because of their money, right? And the reality about money,
They can lose it.
then what happens? You unhitch yourself and find another horse with money,
Right.
right? And there will always be somebody with more money, right? So if you marry me and I know it's because of my money, can I ever trust you?
That's what I mean by idolatry. Now, I think to your point, Esther, now, can God not turn something that is bad for good? If person realizes that, okay, maybe I did wrong, I think it's possible.
But I even think because of even if somebody just gets married, I think there is a natural something that happens.
It doesn't work like that, though. Do you know why it doesn't
The
work like that?
motivation
Do you know why
is
it doesn't work
important.
like that? You know why it doesn't work like that, right? Because the reason why I enter it is going to determine how I conduct myself in it.
Right.
If I enter a marriage because of money, right, then the money is my idol, is my God,
Right.
right? And everything that does not bring me money in the marriage is a problem. And the only things that I support are the things that, so you marry a guy for his money, and then the guy is like, oh, I'm too tired, I can't go to work, I'm going to have a stroke. Guy, my friend, better get up and go and work. Go and
Gotta
work.
get it together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We got this thing to take
Is
care
that
of.
is that sustainable, right? For the person who you marry because of money, is that what they thought? Did they think that this marriage was about money? Or did they think that, I've got a partner in life?
Right.
Right? Those kinds of things, right? The Bible says, you fall into many diverse and foolish snares, and you are pierced with many sorrows, right? It's a very sorrowful reason. And think about it, right? A lot of relationships, don't go anywhere. Not because these people are bad people inherently.
Yeah.
Right? But they enter the relationships for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Right? And then the people don't deliver. Right? Circumstances change. Right? You cannot buy a car, right, because you want a horse and expect that all of a sudden, after a year, the car will turn into a horse. It is a car. You have to put gas in it. You cannot give it grass.
Some people be like, Father Lord, it says in your word. I know. I mean, I grew up with places where people are like
I'm weak.
that. If I just speak this and that, like this horse or this car will turn into a horse. And they really, but nothing now happens.
Sometimes God is gracious. Sometimes God is gracious.
Well, I guess if it's according to you,
Sometimes
there's a
he's
reason
gracious.
behind
Yes.
this. Yeah.
Sometimes it's gracious, but sometimes you get what you get. And that's why I always say to folks, right, particularly single folks, don't choose a spouse based on just your current need, right? I need somebody, I'm struggling with my bills, I need somebody to help me pay my bills.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm lonely, I need somebody to keep me company.
Because I know women that's
That's a good one. I know people that.
yeah.
I'm cold, I need somebody to keep me warm.
What
Right?
they call it, bundles. When it's cold, what do you call that thing? Like
cuddle season.
cuddle season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I'm my hormones all over the place. I need somebody to help me. No, because at the end of the day, right? You see, this is the thing, right? Think about it. You marry somebody, right? Because you're horny, right? Yeah? You're in that season of life. And then you get to a point in your life where you're not horny anymore. Then what's going to happen to that person? Because that's all this person is good for sex. Now you don't need sex. What are you going to do with the person?
So this is a good point
You
because I
find sex
think
outside.
You don't need sex.
Oh,
anymore.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But now you've got somebody in your house
I think this is a good point.
that's useless to
because-
you.
But this is a good point because when you get in your old, you know how the Bible says, Paul said, if you're burning Mary, right?
Yeah.
And I think I've heard pastors use that as a reason for people to get married. But if I'm being fair, I don't necessarily think, I think people need to operate in self-control opposed to get married because you're burning. Because to your point, when
Burning for who?
I think he was yes, he was burning for the dude.
Burning for the dude.
No. You see, that's the thing. You're
So
taking
what
He's burning for. So you're in a relationship with somebody.
Okay.
Calm yourself down. Are we recording this?
I think he is.
Okay, we're recording
I
this.
think he's recording.
It's a lie.
I think so. Because he's gonna use it as it's really good though.
You're in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
Right? You're in a relationship with somebody. You're burning for your maiden, right? Somebody who you're already in a relationship with.
Got you.
And you are prolonging the relationship, prolonging the marriage, prolonging the fulfillment of that desire.
Right.
Is what Paul was speaking about. Okay. Right? He was not talking about your blood is just hot. Just find somebody and just marry them. No. Right? Because that is marrying somebody because they gratify your sexual desires. Right? And that's what everybody getting into marriage. It's a part of the thinking.
Yeah.
But sometimes stuff happens, and that's not possible.
Yeah.
Then what do you do? Women get pregnant, and when they get pregnant, some women don't touch me. For 9 months, do not touch me. Then what do you do? Some people, they get pregnant, and postnatal depression.
Yeah.
What do you do? But
Yeah.
you married because you were burning. Now you are going to be in trouble. Now you're in trouble. You have a wife,
Yeah.
right?
And
And
you
no
have a
knacks.
conundrum.
And
Yeah.
a major conundrum. Or you marry someone because of money.
Yeah.
And the day the marriage is contracted, the day you sign the dotted line, his business goes under. What do you do? Immediately you're already looking for the exit door.
That's how the devil catches you. Because I know we've heard.
That's
too
why the
many
Bible says you fall into many foolish
Ah.
and diverse temptations. They have erred in their faith. And I said in the sermon I preached about it, I said, our values are not in alignment with God's values.
Right.
If God says, I don't count a man's life by his possessions,
Right.
but we are counting men by their possessions. How do we think we're going to make the right decisions?
Right.
When God wanted to choose a king, he didn't choose the one who looked like a king. He chose the one who had the heart of a king. How about we look for the one who has a heart for the role that we want for them? Right? You employ somebody with certain skills. When they lose those skills, what are you going to do? If you employ me because of my eyes, I'm 55 now. I can't believe how much I need my glasses.
Can you see me, Pierre?
I can see you.
Okay.
You kind of blurred.
That's so shady.
but
I'm
that's
trying
true.
to see though.
But you know what? 15 years ago, that would have been an insult to me. Now it's my reality. Sometimes I can't see as well. So if you only marry me because of my eyes, bruh,
Oh.
made
You
a
only have a limited amount of time. Better enjoy these eyes for 10 years.
Yes.
Because
and those are the kind of things I'm talking about. You marry a woman because she's a size 2. She gets pregnant
She's
and
It's
now
going
this
to
guy
end
is
with
like
there's no
15.
way.
You never
Right.
just you have to. I think right.
Pierre is showing restraints, like when they come out,
You have to
disturb him.
ask yourself, and those of us, and I'm talking particularly to the folks who go to God in prayer, right? When you go to God and say, Lord, I want a spouse, what kind of person do you really think God would give to you? That's if God was a good God, right? And he wants to do you well. What kind of person would he give to you? He would not give you the kind of person you are looking for.
Leng.
Because he doesn't look at things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not going to say, see my guy, let me give him one, like precious babe, runway.
That's what we think. We actually do think we move like that.
And Esther, that's and I hope that was what I was trying to tie back to. I think we idolize marriage because the reasons we go into it are not the reasons that it was designed for, and that's not to condemn us. Yeah. But once you see that, I think it's easier for us to repent.
But what do you mean not to condemn us?
No, there's no condemnation in Christ. There are consequences.
No. I'm talking about. This is not about condemnation and Christ now. This is a bad thing is a bad thing.
Yeah, but you
Right?
know, yeah, but
So when you say not to condemn us,
yeah.
this is bad. I'm condemning you.
No.
Stop marrying people
Pierre
for
might be
money.
condemning you. I don't think
Stop
it's useful.
marrying people for money.
But
Stop
we can
marrying
call it out.
women just because of knacks.
Of knacks.
No.
Or snacks, like the kids call it.
Wow. This is my point, guys. This is my point, right? A while ago, I think maybe on one of the podcasts, I actually said this. When you want to hire an employee, you have the job description, and you find the candidate that is most likely to carry out those responsibilities, right? And if they fail, and what they do is they'll turn in their resume.
Right.
You look at their experience, you talk to some of the folks they've worked with, right? And you do an interview, two or three interviews, maybe 4, right? Max 5, if you are really, uptight company with an uptight.
That don't have sense.
Yes.
For all you companies that are there, won't be warned.
Right? So maybe you do it like that. You know what I'm saying? But after maybe 5 interviews,
7
right?
interviews,
You
8.
you ask specific questions. You have a lot of people who need to be satisfied. So you bring all of them, they ask questions, and you decide that this is the guy for the job, right? And you hire him. If he doesn't perform, you fire him, and you hire someone else, right? It is based on skill set, right? Not on character, on skill set. Yeah? The only job that you should hire somebody for based on character, right? And their heart is marriage. And character and heart is not discovered in an interview.
Right.
Or is not discovered in one conversation.
Right.
It's discovered over time. Right? But we hire people into marriage. I'm 45, I'm 42, I'm 35. It's time for me to marry. This is my list. These are the requirements. I need somebody who can do this, who can do that, who can do this. And then you bring somebody who can do this, who can do that, and they talk a good game. Right? Because, I know that this conversation we're having is not about being friends. It's about marriage. Right? It's about marriage. From the get-go, I know it's about marriage. Yeah. So I'm going to come for that interview in my best suit. Yeah. Right? I've read up on you. Right? I've gone to your social media.
Some light stalking?
Yes, And then I come prepared for the interview. So when you ask me a question, so what do you think about single parents? I know you are the child of a single parent. I'm like, oh my God, man. You have to give it up for those women.
Shout out to them, though.
Man, they're holding it down in spite of the irresponsible, good guy.
A wolf.
I see what you
So what do you think about joint finances? You're strong in it. You can see that you are an SVP at City. Well, I think you know what, you keep your money. I mean, my wife, I should look after my wife. She doesn't need to spend a dime. Check.
Mind you, he hasn't even spent the dime.
Well, you see what I'm saying? Spending a dime. What are spending a dime got to do with that?
Why can't we keep trying to come here?
You see, Esther, I love what Esther is doing. Esther is revealing the truth. Because you see, Esther is telling me that what she is looking at is his possessions.
And at least that's honest.
No, that is not only possessions.
Well, not only, but one of the primary.
No, it is his possessions.
It's not primary. It's not only.
Okay, one of the secondary. It has to be something. Because all throughout this conversation,
if you can dismiss everything we've said with, and he hasn't even spent a dime, then that means that the way he spends money is a clue to how he will spend it on you.
No, I was only. You guys just happened to catch me in that, but it was.
No, we caught you. We caught you.
No, it was really because obviously of the comment that you made around him saying that he's going to do things, but he hasn't actually done those things yet. He's only just talking.
Right.
Exactly.
But
he's
the way
talking.
that you would know is over time being able to track those things. Because I mean, I do believe as a man thinketh, so he is, right? And
Tell him.
Whether that's a man or a woman, how you think is how you're going to, or what you believe is what you're going to live out.
Yeah.
So in the same way, I agree with you that if he's just talking, you won't know until he starts to do.
Exactly.
Then you realize that he's a sham.
Exactly.
And then you invested.
But do you know why why it's easy for that sham to scam you? Right? Let me tell you why it's easy for him to scam you. Because you're not looking for his heart, you're looking for his hand. Mm-hmm. And with your hand, there's this thing called the slate of hands, right? That's what con men do, right? Smoke and mirrors. They wave their hands around and you get bedazzled and they take your wallet, right? Yeah? And that's what happens. You're looking at his hand and he flashes a few trinkets in front of you, right? And you're like, oh my God, he's so generous. Meanwhile, the guy has gotten his
And I'm
prize
curious
and
for those that are watching, like, how do you look at somebody's heart?
Watch them.
Buy
Over
their
time.
fruits.
You will know them.
You shall know
But
them.
I guess how do you that is true. But then in terms of mindset, how do you separate their actions from their heart?
Let me tell you how you separate the actions from their heart. Watch them in every situation and circumstance. Right? Let me explain what I mean. When you're talking on the phone and you say to a person, so how was work today? Man, work was horrible. Really, what happened, man? There's this chick that I work beside. She's so mean. She's so nasty. you know, she did this, she did what? So what did she do? What exactly happened?
She forgot to send me an email. They're like,
You see what I'm saying? So you find out, you ask, you don't want to be asking. So what do you think of Taylor Swift? Taylor who?
Taylor what?
So do you like, you know, are you what's new now? Billie Eilish. You know, we major on the minors. Right? I want to see how you are dealing with people.
Yeah.
I want to see how you are interacting with your family, with your friends. Right? I want to see how you're interacting with people who you don't give a hoot about.
But to your earlier point, PF, if the individual is looking at the wrong things, that they won't even think.
Let me tell you what they are doing. They're looking at how you are spending money on people.
Yeah. So they're not like, oh, I'm looking at his fruits. I saw his actions.
I was looking. I said, why are you always saying yes? It was that. Why are you always saying yes? But guess what? Me too. He has been saying yes to me. He's really
and then you now find out that there's more than yes.
There's more than yes.
And that's the problem, right? But if you look behind that yes, you see the character. Right? And when you see the character, you're like, oh, this is why he says yes. Oh, this is why he spends money. Some people spend money, not because they're generous, but because they can't stand opposition. So they use money to buy it. Right? So it's reflex for them. I want something. Here's some money. Then when you now get married to them, and they don't need to give you money to get you to do stuff, the money dries up. Right? And then you're like, oh, I thought you were generous. I'm sorry, what?
Where did you get that? But all that time
I was manipulative.
Yeah,
Money was a tool of manipulation.
Exactly.
And the person may not even know that they were manipulating
that happens too. That happens
so
too.
So the point I'm trying to make is
that's a good point.
Observe people. One of the challenges with modern day, the structure of our society, is the opportunities to observe people are so limited. Right? So, and this is why I struggle with our current concept of dating. And I've talked about this before. The way our society is structured now, to meet somebody, you meet somebody online, right? And then you take them, go out on dates with them, right? And on those dates, in those very antiseptic, secluded...
Yeah, those McDonald's booths.
Yes, those restaurant booths. You think you're going to get to know them. However, if you are part of a community, right? Yeah, where we're all doing life together. I catch you on your good days. I catch you on your bad days. I catch you on your off days. I see you, right? When you don't even know I'm looking at you. You don't even care that I'm looking at you. You're just being yourself. Then I know the kind of person you are, right? Now that is lost because of the way society is structured. We're very isolated. We're very insular.
It's difficult.
It's difficult. But the interesting thing is this, right? I would expect that everybody who is looking, right, should be moving towards some kind of community. Right? Let me go to this community. If the word is out on the streets, right, that the people who are serious about relationships are the ones in these communities, that is where they go to look for people in their communities, then people will gravitate towards communities. But because we want the independence to be rebellious, we want the independence to do whatever we like, we run away from the communities, right? We want the solitude of privacy, right? We want privacy, and that desire for privacy then isolates us, right? So our ability to gather data about people is severely impaired.
Well, that's why we have local churches.
Yeah, but even local churches, right? Even local churches. So the guys, for example,
they're premarital counseling.
So let me give you an example. We have singles events, right? I had a conversation on Friday, this Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, 3 days ago. I had a conversation with a bunch of singles. And one of the guys, said, we'd had a singles event a couple of weeks ago, and I heard afterwards that a lot of single guys didn't show up. So this guy was saying, well, the reason why this, because I asked, I was like, so why don't you guys show up? He's like, well, expectations are high. I'm like, guy, I have no expectation for you. I'm setting this thing up so that you people can have an opportunity to meet each other. That's all.
But they're not serious.
It's not that they're not serious, it's that they're not wise. Let me tell you, it's a lack of wisdom. Seriously, it's a poverty of wisdom. They are rich in money but poor in sense.
Yeah.
If you are looking, seriously speaking, if you are looking for somebody, you want somebody who's real, who's authentic, right? You actually think that the best way to find out their true self is to say to them, I'm looking for a wife, let's go on a date. What's going to happen on that date?
You're gonna show up as their best self.
Thank you.
Morph.
Not her authentic self.
Morph.
Yes. And then you're like, oh, this babe, great babe. Guy, you ain't seen nothing yet. However, at these events, right, you meet somebody, and you're like, okay, this girl, not bad though. But let's keep ushering together. Let me see how you usher people. Let me see how you deal with people who irritate you first thing in the morning before you had your coffee. Right? Let me see how you do in the choir. Since I cannot work with you at City Group or Chase or wherever it is you work, I can do church with you. I can't do village with you because we're here in America, but I can do church with you. That's the only place left.
Is it possible that this, coming as someone that is married,
and I know your wife will.
Yeah, so I'm not like trying to be like, I know what it's like to be single or whatever. But is it possible that the reason why this man and this beautiful man and beautiful woman, single, are not getting it when it comes to what really matters is because that's not really what they want?
Let me tell you, I don't agree with you. Can I tell you why I don't agree with you?
I'm all ears.
There is a conflict. You know how the Bible says there's a war between the flesh and the spirit. There's a conflict between what they want, right, and what they want.
What they think they want and what they want.
They want these relationships, but they were also raised, right, to be extremely self-centered and self-absorbed. So they want what they want, how they want it. That's the problem, right? They want a job or they want to work from home, right? And for a season, it was convenient, right? Everybody wanted everybody to work from home, right? But now, people are actually turning down jobs because they're not allowing them to work from home. And I wonder how long that's going to last, right?
The economy is wild right now.
Right? The point I'm trying to make is this, right? You cannot get to Houston from Dallas without getting on 45. They don't want to get on 45, but they want to get to Houston, right? And time is going, right? You want somebody to come into your life, right, who is perfect for you, right? But meanwhile, you are a messed up basket case, right? And the person, I said to somebody, okay, you want God to bless you, but are you a blessing to somebody or a problem, right? You want a husband, but you are actually planning to be a burden to him. You're planning to be a mortgage to him. He has to have money.
Cannot.
You know, in short, the first thing you do is you check his credit score.
Yeah.
But yours is 231.
No, you can't afford me. You're not credit worthy.
But you're checking his own.
Are you a mortgage? Why are you checking my credit? I don't want problem.
Wait, okay, so no. So what about those that have those things?
What things?
Go on.
The things that you just said, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with women going through those checks and balances.
What checks and balances?
Like
my credit,
the money, the credit.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Checking his background check, making sure he hasn't committed any crimes.
So, okay.
That is, people are mad.
I know. I mean,
listen,
you no complaints for me.
Are those things an accurate representation of a person? The mistakes you've made in the past?
No.
So
I don't think it's fully accurate.
So when I was young, I was foolish, right? I came out of college and they were throwing credit cards at me, and I ran up a lot of debt. But now I'm wiser, but I still have like 60,000 in debt because from my stupid days. Now I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm working hard, but you check my credit score, it's 250.
Just disqualify me immediately.
Again, you are not a mortgage. Why is my credit score the issue? Listen,
Chase back.
When I was stupid, I used to run with some foolish boys.
Yes.
Right? And I got arrested. So I have a record.
Go check his burger. No. He's been arrested.
So, now, me personally, Femi Omotayo, I never got arrested. Right? I never ran up a ton of debt because where I come from, there was no credit cards.
Right.
And two, police just...
you gotta come and be going. Don't do it again, no.
Exactly. But if I grew up in America,
yeah,
chances are I would have a record. Chances are I would have got approached my return on debt. But none of that would have been a reflection of who I am. Right? You meet a woman, and yes, she's had a baby. Right? I know a lady. Oh, wonderful woman. Wonderful woman. Wonderful woman. She was engaged to a guy. Right? And before the engagement, she got pregnant. Before the marriage, she got pregnant. Maybe a week, a couple of days, I don't remember the exact story. Before the wedding, the husband died. So when you meet her, right? Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
She's got a child.
Pop the balloon.
What does that say about her?
Yeah, because
Does
people,
that mean she was promiscuous?
No, but I mean,
Exactly.
She made
But there's an assumption immediately.
right, people don't.
There's
like,
an assumption.
well,
And there are a
we
lot of
don't.
guys who be like, woman, we don't carry picking for
Well,
someone
I
else.
go there. Because we project our like.
Yes, but this
Yeah.
is one of the
Insecurities.
kindest, most generous,
Fears.
most solid woman that I ever met. Right? But she had a child. Right? And a lot of guys would not want to have anything to do with her because she had a child. And those guys, it was their loss. Right? The point I'm trying to make is this, right? This person, right? This person, who is this person? Is this person kind? Will they treat you well? Right? And when I say treat you well, I'm not talking about buying you a ton of trinkets. Right? If they had the money to buy you a ton of trinkets, would they? Now they don't have the money. Right? But if they had it, would they have it? Would they buy it for you? Is this somebody who will treat you with respect? Is somebody who would listen to you? Right? Is somebody who would hold you in esteem?
Encourage you.
Who will encourage you? Who will
support
support you?
Yeah.
Who will not see you in tears and say, "What's my business?"
Yeah.
Right?
Who hold you accountable?
My daughter got married.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say, my daughter got married. She got married to my first child. I'm an Ekiti man from Ekiti. And, I've always had this, I have two girls, so I always had this image of what my sons-in-law would be like. And my daughter came with a white boy. When
A
my first
Caucasian male.
I didn't know how you was going to enter it, but you just said, you know what? Let's just
a
go
Caucasian
ahead.
male.
And she married a white boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, he loves her. You know.
I have watched that boy, and you can be sure I'm watching. Tim, I'm watching you. The way he treats my daughter is the way that I will treat my daughter.
So,
The way he looks after my daughter, as of now, is the way that I would look after my daughter. I could care less that he was white. That when we're playing Afrobeat, I can see that he's about to, his head is getting a headache. Right? I would turn the music down. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
that's wisdom.
Yeah. That's
I'll turn the music down.
That's wisdom.
Right? When I'm speaking Pidgin English, he doesn't get it. I can speak English. I went to school.
Yeah.
I can speak Pidgin English to
Yeah.
Tunde.
Yeah, quite
so boy alpha.
I did, bro.
My guy. Now you.
But that Elon, that guy carries sense. So.
Serious guy.
Hey, Tim, how's it doing?
How are you, Tim?
Hey, what's going on?
How are your folks? Yeah?
Hey,
He told me a story. One story. He said, so asking about his father. So he told me his father, Tim is cool. So he said his father just bought a boat. And I'm like, oh, really?
Man,
I said, yeah. And he goes, yeah, he had to take a second job to pay for the boat.
Yeah.
His father was retired, wanted a boat, went and took a second job to pay for the boat. I said, thank you, Jesus. This boy is coming from people that have sense. Yeah. I relaxed. He treats her well. He has sense. What am I looking for?
I think I missed it. Why is it good that he went to go take a second job?
Because he's responsible.
Yeah, like,
Okay,
yes,
got you.
yeah.
Okay.
He's responsible.
He's not just, he didn't
Yeah,
go and rack it on credit.
Yes.
Like,
Right.
obviously, we're not
Yeah.
Right.
lashing people
Yeah.
with big bad
Yeah.
mistakes,
Right.
but
Yeah.
he was
He's
responsible. Like, let me go
sensible.
and take a second
Right?
job.
They're hardworking people. If you come out of your retirement to pay for what you want, right?
I respect it.
I respect that. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is this. Yeah. What I wanted for my daughter, God answered my prayer, and I pray that He remains like that.
Amen.
He better remain like that. But I wish people would look for that. Somebody who would treat them well, not somebody who will buy them stuff.
Okay, so there are men.
Unless you are equating treating well with buying stuff,
Probably what
I
they are.
agree
then you
with
have
you.
issues.
I agree with
You
you.
need therapy.
But then you find those people that can do those things,
Yeah, like,
and they're not motivated people sometimes.
So let them. So okay, but you are motivated.
people
So
that
you are
can buy
motivated
you
for two of
stuff.
us. No. Wait, I know what she's saying. I know. Go on. Finish
Wait,
the
what
story.
is- wait,
Wait, let
okay.
her finish. No.
Okay.
No, so
I-
there are people. No, there are people like that that are very nice. They have good character, all the things.
They're great,
but nothing.
Great.
but they're not.
Lower.
They're more low. They don't have money, and they're not. And they're not CEO material.
They just don't. They don't have the drive. They don't have all the things. So what it gives me is like, oh, you have the nature of Christ, but then you don't have the wisdom of Christ.
That's
I'm
not
so
true.
confused.
That's not true.
Esther, honestly,
Esther,
I was following
Esther,
you.
the wisdom
and I just-
of Christ. The wisdom of Christ. No, I get what Esther is saying, but this is how you spiritualize the wrong thing.
Okay.
The wisdom of Christ, yeah, is that godliness with contentment is great gain. That is the wisdom of Christ, right? A wise man understands that spending time with his children and spending time with his wife, right, and pursuing things of eternal consequence are far more important, right, than rising up a corporate ladder and running around in the rat race. That's a wise man, right? The guys who prioritize the rat race, they're very attractive, but they are also the most selfish people you can imagine. Because in order for you men are not multitaskers.
You have to give up something essentially.
Ruthless to climb
That is
ladder.
why you find the guys at the top, right, are either on their fourth marriages, fifth marriages. You see a 65-year-old man, he's got an oxygen tank and he's got a 25-year-old girl with him. Right? Because she's just biding her time. This guy will soon collect his money. But the woman he started with is not building industry. Builders, right? Generals, men who are testosterone driven like that. Yeah, there's a problem with them. With ambition comes a level of egotism, yeah, that most women cannot countenance.
But there should be both. There should be a balance.
It
There's
is
no
easier
balance.
for a camel
to pass through the
thank
thank you.
the eye of a
Quote
needle
it.
than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom.
You see, Esther, but that's what you don't realize, right? That's what you don't realize that.
Well, I just
God-
want to say I'm almost 9 years in February. So
Shout out though.
Yeah.
So,
So wait, don't clap for her yet. I don't want any applause here. But Esther, this is the point I'm trying to make. This is the point I'm trying to make. Right? So if an ambitious woman, right, marries an ambitious man, what happens to the family?
I mean,
see ambition.
Yeah.
Maybe there's ambition.
no, there could be. I mean,
They
the
hire
the
some-
family suffers to some
No,
extent.
they
They
hire
hire
someone.
like
They hire a
support
maid.
because they're both too
They hire
busy.
they hire people. They have enough money to hire people.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But then the children are dysfunctional.
Right, because the parents are not raising them.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Because they're not one of the primary needs of a child from conception to adulthood is love, affection, and attention. Right?
Yes, I can
If
agree.
both parents are not there to give that child the love, attention, validation, affection, whatever, what has happened is that child has lost a major source of emotional nutrition. Right? So we're both satisfied. We're the power couple, but we're raising emotionally stunted children. Right? How is that wise?
Yeah, but at least they're going to Ivy League schools though.
They're going to Ivy League schools, but they're
Even though they are-
emotionally
yeah.
stunted.
Even though they are
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. However,
internal
one
environment.
person has the drive. One person is driven, stupid driven, right? Mad driven. We are a team, right? You're the drive person. I'm the home person. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I think the issue is that we don't want to be the driven people. We want to be the ones that are at home.
No, you
Not
don't.
not in all cases.
No, you don't. No, you
Wait,
don't.
Wait.
There is no
I didn't say
driven
me,
person.
oh.
Wait,
no,
wait.
not Esther.
I didn't
Esther,
say
it's not
me.
you. But there's no driven person that wants to be at home. Every driven person. Let me tell you what driven people do. Particularly when the driver is a woman.
Apart from driving.
Yes. Tunde is back. Tunde is really back. You guys should have kept him fired.
Sorry.
See, Tunde,
Go on.
this is the thing that when women are the ones who have the drive, there's particularly when the drive is hard. They're like, why am I the one that's always driving? You two get up and drive. They've forgotten that this is a season, you know. This dry spell, this tough spell is a season. And then it passes. Right? And then guess what? Now we've got two drivers. And the kids are back at home. Oh yeah, you said I should drive now. Stay at home. No. God has given me a desire. God has done this. Me too. What about my own? What about my this? What about my that? Oh, you didn't know that before. I've met. Interestingly, I've actually met a few women, right, in my life in ministry, who are driven, and I admire their drive. And God always pairs them with men who are not,
A chill
and they are
guy.
so ungrateful.
Stay at home, daddy.
I'm talking to you people. You know yourselves. You are so ungrateful because if God gave you a husband who was as driven as you,
It would be a
It
scary
will drive
place.
you.
let me
mad.
tell you what will happen. Let me tell you what happened.
Scary
No. That kind of man, you will go home. You will stay at home.
Oh.
You will, with your drive, you will swallow your drive and stay at home, or that marriage will end. Because those kind of guys they don't bend.
Yeah, they will drive you mad.
Oh, they don't bend.
I agree with that.
Okay.
But I think
twice.
women will prefer that.
Really?
I think some women would prefer that. I
Really?
think the majority, the
Really?
stats, I think support the women
stats-
saying I'm
let the stats say.
Esther,
Okay, so let me tell you
why I can tell you with confidence. I
Yes.
can tell you without any fear of contradiction
yes,
that women with drive, they only want to stay at home for a season.
that's true.
Yeah. So who are you going to turn on and off like a switch?
Season 1, season 2.
No, seriously,
Season 3,
which guy?
season 4.
So let's get this right. Let's assume you've got, we get married, you've got drive, then you get pregnant, we have kids, so we suspend your drive, right? Until the kids get to. So I'm on, I'm burning, jet fuel because we suspended your drive. And you think that one day you're going to be like, okay, the kids are no longer in school, in kindergarten. Let's turn off the jet fuel you've been burning, right? That thing is like food to me now. And I'll say it's now your turn. Then my kids would be what? My kids, a housemaid would look after my kids. We'll end the marriage first. I'm telling you, we'll end the marriage first. And that's the thing that double-edged swords. Double-edged sword. Be careful what you wish for. You want a man who is driven, yeah, awesome, but understand that those kinds of men, they're a certain type of way. You want a woman who is ambitious. Understand that with those men come certain things. It's just the nature of it. You cannot be a builder and be a people person. Your people person skills, they are the tools with which you build. Your goal is always what you're building. Not people they become pawns, tools to help you build. And your family, you'll be all right.
Is all of this and all of this? I just want to say that all of this is these are men that know Christ.
Yes, that know Christ.
But to be fair, the woman that is looking for the money, she knows Christ too.
Yeah. But I
So
mean,
Christ should temper. So what Esther is saying that Christ should temper my ambition in order to make room for your
I think
ambition.
I think there's wisdom.
What's the wisdom?
What's
the wisdom?
There's a time and place for everything. There's a season for everything.
So now I would.
It's not
I
in
would
every
love,
season that you're going to do everything.
Yes, I would love a practical. I would love a practical outlining of what this wisdom would look like practically. So we've got a wife who is driven. She's type A.
Yes.
And type A, not type A, baking and what's that thing and house.
Oh, but I was about to say vacuuming, but I felt like it was wrong.
Not that kind of type A.
Okay.
Yeah.
But type A, corporate America, boardroom,
Yeah.
taking no
Ruthless.
prisoners, kind of ruthless.
Disagreeable.
Yeah.
Yes, type A. Yeah.
And
And-
this woman is a believer.
Yes, a believer.
I believe
Okay.
man.
And she's married to a man who is masters of the universe kind of type A. How does that work?
Well, it doesn't work.
But
Okay.
the only way
Because I
can see-
haven't seen an example where that works really, really well, right?
Okay.
The example that I'm even thinking about was I watched a couple on a podcast and they were just talking about like her business and how she started off. And the guy was working for a top company and he was on his way to C-level, E-level position. He actually took a back seat because his job required him to travel so much because of the type of role that he was in. He actually took a back seat to allow her business to thrive.
Yeah.
And obviously now they're millionaires.
Right.
And, he was saying in the interview how he kind of began to resent her because he was looking at his mates and they were, in the positions that he would have been in if he would have stayed in, that level, that track.
I'm sure.
right?
I'm sure this person was a Western, probably a Westernized, a Western, an American, or a British, a Caucasian person, not an African.
The wife was black and he
African,
was...
not recent African, just off the boat African.
What are you trying to say?
That's why I'm like, I'm confused.
Femi.
You get what I'm
The
trying to say?
woman was African American.
Yes,
Eh?
but not so. So see, this is the problem.
What are you trying to say?
And how this no,
She's not African. She's
not
African American.
That's from the recent.
Yeah,
That's from the past.
Uh-huh.
They are Africans from the past, and they are recent
African from the
Africans. African American people who
They're not like me and Tunde. We are recent Africans.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yes.
No,
Okay.
I'm not a recent African.
Eh?
You're a recent African. You just got off the boat.
What you talking about?
If your ancestors did not come here by force, you are a recent African.
Oh, that's the
Sir.
okay. Oh, I didn't
my
clock.
people were
I'm like, hold on.
colonized. They weren't. It's different.
Yes.
I
Okay.
got you.
So, as a Nigerian man, right? Yeah, I can tell you this: the pressure of my peers, of my society, of my community, would make that arrangement extremely difficult, if not totally impossible.
No, it was difficult.
You don't understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Even your own mother, right, who her daughter is building this multi-million-dollar business, right, is going to be talking to me like, my friend, will you sit down? Your wife is busy running around building business. You are changing diaper. What kind of man are you? Are you a man? Look at what your mates are doing.
Yeah, I guess at that point for me, it's like it depends for me because it's like okay, I know what they get from this arrangement, so maybe I can just chase the abuse.
Awesome.
Because I clocked that, man.
Awesome. Now,
this person doesn't understand the
Tunde,
sweetness
if
of
the
this deal.
abuse is coming from the outside, it will be sweet. When the abuse is coming from the inside, when your wife is not the one telling you that, am I not? Are you?
When is my wife?
Yes.
Then I would never have married her.
No. Wait.
Yeah,
Pause,
but
wait.
because I'll be real because like what happens with wisdom. So remember that story of Solomon where God had asked him what he wanted, and he could have said anything.
Right.
But he asked for wisdom.
Right.
So for me, it's like wisdom is always important in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm already watching the babe and seeing how she's reacting when we're
Because-
dating.
And she will have wisdom.
She will not talk to me like that.
That
I don't go
couple
marry
still
her or
married.
long.
They're still married,
I don't go marry her.
because again,
Offense.
right? There is nobody in her ears, right? And when I say in her ears, I'm not talking about human beings. I'm talking about culture.
Right.
What a man does, who a man is. That voice is not in her ears.
But I think that is important because not everybody allows those things to affect them. Not everybody.
Really?
Not
Honestly,
everybody
yeah, like,
does.
personally,
I
like,
have
if
I can't agree with that. Everything
Esther,
for everybody.
I have not met a woman of recent African descent, recent African descent, who is comfortable, right, with being the high-flying CEO while her husband is at home watching the kids.
Yeah, some of us aren't.
No, don't say some of us. I have not met one, and I've met a few. There's always this thing. They always, it's like, you know how if you make your money from it not very honorable means.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say you run a sewage company, a sewage disposal company. That's how you make your money from running a sewage disposal company.
That's actually
Wait.
Wait.
It's not honorable.
Wait now.
Oh, sorry.
to the culture ish.
Right? You know, you are carrying, you're emptying sewage, whatever, right?
But is the bread
Calm
like?
down.
Are you making?
Calm down,
oh,
calm down.
okay.
You're making money, and then you make your money as CEO of a blue chip, Fortune 500 company, right? Same money,
830.
right? The guy who makes his money in a suit, right? Yeah, there's a bit more respectability, right, than the guy who has to wear
Mask.
a mask,
Yeah.
right?
If you're saying different roles, but the income is the same.
Yes,
That's interesting.
yes, there is. It's society.
Oh, you're saying like
It's
not him, like
Oh yes,
perception.
yes, the perception.
Oh, okay.
So even
That's
a
fine,
high-flying woman, right? Yeah, even though her husband may even be comfortable with sitting in the back seat, the idea that she's the one making the money is a problem for her.
Okay.
Otherwise, there should be no trouble in the marriage.
Okay, so
why does she want? Wait, if it's not a problem for her, why does she want him to have drive? Why?
so you can have money.
No. She has enough for us, all of us.
Right.
And she has enough drive for all of
And
us.
him too,
Why is
he
she
has
not
enough.
content? He has enough from where?
You said that he's working, he's making money.
No, he's not making any money now. He's at home with the
That's
kids.
something like, why you have the drive?
Why do you have to drive? You are driving
The
for
driver
us.
license does not expire.
Why do we need two drivers when we have one good driver in you?
There's only one steering wheel, so why we having two?
Let me tell you why we need two drivers. Because the driver, worries that people are looking at her like, why are you the one driving? What kind of husband did you marry? Because there's something innate in women. In men, the innate thing is to say, this is my wife. She does, she's looking after the family and all that. Women want to show off a provider. Women want their pride, their ego, right? Needs a provider.
But I feel like that's like baby though. No offense. Like I feel like you get to a point where
It doesn't matter.
You realize
but I also
to
think
experience
that's
that.
how we were raised too.
It's not that
I mean,
deep.
I agree
that's how
with
we're
you.
raised, though.
I agree with you, but Esther and the cohort of recently
Esther and Co.
Esther and Co. Esther and Co. The recently arrived African immigrants, right? They struggle with it. They struggle with the idea that I have drive, and you know, I have drive. My husband is less driven. Is much more quickly content than I am. They struggle with it, even though the husband is not trying to stop them. Right? He's not trying to say, "Oh, tone your drive down." He's ready to applaud them. He's ready to celebrate them. Right? You know what? You want a house in Malibu? I got you, babe. I'll watch the kids. You go for it. It's not that the husband is trying to hinder them. No. That's not the problem. In all the cases I have seen, what the problem is that the wives are like, "You two, come, let's go. You know what? We can afford a house in Malibu if I get it. But if two of us are doing, we can afford a house in Alaska, Bahamas, in Bermuda."
I apologize.
It's only for a season.
Esther, I feel like yeah, you know, I'm not typically the man to be abusing people, but or Denny or long. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry because
For those that didn't understand, that means the lady is
Unwise.
a dummy.
unwise. So
Unwise.
this is how I see, and I want to ask a question to Esther, and I'm not trying to make it seem as if this is posed towards you, but
No, that's
if
fine.
you have a man,
Me, I take it on chest. Have money.
shut up.
I take it on the chest.
So, but I have a question. Like, what would you rather? Okay, this is in isolation, but just bear with me. A man that works 9 to 5 and is making 75K a year,
The number is even low. Oh yeah, let's be
or
You have the answer to your question. Now, what are you asking? What are you asking again? What else are you asking?
Because I'm curious.
You didn't
Because
start well.
the same money. I'm curious, right?
didn't start well.
Or a man, but he goes to work, wears a suit.
Okay.
Or a man that is a garbage collector, but is earning 500K a year.
Esther will take the garbage collector.
Any day. of the
Okay,
week.
then. So I mean, she has sense.
No.
Any day of the
You didn't phrase it. Let me rephrase
Okay.
it. Let me rephrase it.
Because I'm confused.
Let me
What is the
rephrase
problem
it.
here?
Let me rephrase it. A man that is earning 75,000 goes 9 to 5, comes home, helps, bathes the
Yeah,
kids,
basically.
feeds them, plays with them, does homework with them, puts them to bed. Or a man that is working 9 a.m. till 2, 3, 4 a.m. Is earning 250K.
That's a good one.
Comes home, right? He's so tired.
Tired.
All he wants is sleep, right? He sleeps, he wakes up, and he goes. The children are crabby. They come into the room. He yells at them to get out.
Yeah.
He yells at them to get out, right? The two of you, as you are arriving, he is leaving. As he's leaving, you are arriving, right? Who's watching the kids? You brought one auntie from Africa, because she charges in, dollar to naira conversion.
which is
It works for you.
phenomenal right now, by
It's
the way.
great, yeah.
But
So,
obviously-
you are paying her, the equivalent of whatever, right? So, she watches the kids. She's bonded with the kids. She's really good for the kids. But the two of you are never there. Which one would you prefer?
That's a good one.
My values as a believer, it has to be spending time with it has to be the family unit.
Really?
So I would choose
I
someone
guess
that makes
So
It's
you
about
choose
money
wait now. So you choose the 75,000.
I would.
But every day you'll be disturbing him.
That he needs to do a little bit.
Do you see my problem? Do you see my problem?
No, wait.
And this is the thing. You
Because
want to
do
eat
you
your
know
cake
why?
and have it.
Because
the kind
in
of
my
guys,
mind-
Esther, the kind of guys. This is the thing that I'm. Please, if you're listening to me, understand this. The kind of guys that want to stay and watch the kids and bathe them and all of those kinds of things. Those kind of guys, honestly, I promise you, 9 times out of 10, that kind of guy, very content with his 75K. And if you left him alone, he would be the happiest man in the world.
But why is he content?
Because he's happy. He can pay his mortgage. He can pay his car notes. He has money for vacation. You are the one that wants to. You're the one that wants to carry Balenciaga.
No.
You're
It's
the one
not.
that wants to.
The 75K is
go
not
to-
enough.
For
Go
what?
to Marrakesh.
It's not enough.
How much are you making?
Enough.
We combine the two now.
Okay.
We combine the two. You see, today. You see,
like
you see,
that.
call it
Yeah,
alas.
yeah.
You see, the Bible says,
like
the Bible says
Shout out to you.
the two have become one. We have become a team, right? In every team,
Yeah.
This is the problem. In every team, you have somebody who's the striker, right? You have somebody who plays forward, and you have somebody who plays defense.
Unless you're like Arsenal, you're first nine, no striker.
Well, I really
Nonsense.
don't. I don't.
Time.
They've always been nonsense
Defender.
anyway. But anyway,
good, but it's not.
but
good
you know what
now.
I'm saying, right? You have somebody up front, you have somebody at the back, right? That's what the team does because we recognize that we have different strengths. But when the striker, right, is so focused on striking, wants just to keep running and does not pay attention to the value of keeping the goal, the striker is always trying to pull the defender forward. And if you succeed in pulling the defender forward, your goal is empty.
He's exposed.
It's very exposed.
So you
Right?
score 2 goals, but you lose 5-1, 5-2.
Thank you.
And you're complaining that we lost.
Or score a goal, score 2, and we
Defense,
prevent the
yeah.
people from
So you're
scoring
winning
another
the
7.
game.
You're winning the game. But that's not what we want. We want
want to-
goals.
Because it's possible.
It's not possible.
You cannot, PF is saying you cannot have 2 masters.
No,
It's not possible.
But it's
You
not
cannot
two
put one leg
masters.
here.
Esther,
I mean, technically it is though.
listen.
Money
I mean,
and God. You can't say
Esther,
money and
you
God.
see, these ladies listening, let me tell you, I'm a guy. And I know guys who are like that. Great guys. They're guys like that. They're great guys, awesome guys, good men. And they are very content. And then there are men like me. Yeah? The word that describes men like me, I can't use it in polite circumstances.
This is PG-17.
No, but this is unfiltered.
We are jerks. I'm telling you, jerks. If not for Christ, my wife would have left me. I'm telling you, to build, Esther, anything, and I've been in this construction business, so to speak, for a minute, there is a focus that is required that makes no room for anything or anybody.
But that's why that's what I'm saying. Okay, so for a woman that has drive, it's not all her life that she wants to have drive. She will pick and choose what is wise for her family.
Really? What about the husband?
In the same way, he should do the same. But the problem is that the times where the man is supposed to step up, he's not stepping up.
Why is it, what is the time when he's supposed
He's
to step up?
balancing.
No, what's the time? What's the time when he should be stepping up? Tell me a time when he should be stepping up.
Whenever she's stepping.
Yes, whenever she,
Yeah.
And who decides that?
The situation, I guess.
But yeah, between this, was what they have agreed on.
I guess.
Really? Who agreed to it?
Listen, it's what they have
Esther,
agreed on.
Let me tell you, the kind of guy that engages in that kind of conversation with you, yeah, that says, okay, I will step up for 6 years, then I will step down. That kind of guy. It's harder for a rich man to enter than to find that kind of guy. Let me tell you, guys, and I'm sorry if I sound very,
Like you're bashing the dudes.
I'm not bashing the dudes. I have a lot of respect. I have a friend, actually, very good guy. When that guy is with the kids, oh my God, he's matchless. But every time he gets a job, it's a struggle. But the wife puts him under so much pressure. Right? So he's miserable. He's miserable because he just doesn't do well in that cutthroat environment. Man, but she's thriving in it, man. She's slashing, burning, taking no prisoners. Right?
In both home and work?
No, she's not. She can barely function with the kids. But let it not be said that her husband is watching the kids.
So wait, I think this is the scenario, right?
Having like the wrong
You have a
ideas about
woman,
stuff.
right? Because you have a woman that when they first get married, let's say she's making 100K. Let's do 150.
Okay,
150,
alright. That's a lot of
160,
bread. That's a lot of
right?
bread.
I know a lot of women in Dallas that are making that much
Just
and
so.
more, right?
Just so.
Even at our church here.
Are they doing
Why
multiple jobs?
No.
No.
Like doctors,
Yeah.
lawyers,
Oh, okay.
dentists.
Okay.
Doctors are making 250.
Yeah,
for-
dentists.
okay.
You know, I mean,
Man, shout out to those ladies though.
yeah, you know what
Shout
I mean?
out to y'all.
Engineers, all the things.
Right.
And
They get married.
they get married and they're with a man that, maybe makes,
110.
to your point, let's say he makes 85 or, 75 or whatever. The goal is, and we're going to work, we're coming home, we're cooking, we're doing all the things. We have, even if we don't have capacity, we're figuring it out one way or one how, right? So then by the time we start having kids, it's like, we were able to do it. Why can't you be equal to what we're doing? Why is that not possible?
I'm sorry, what?
Why can it be
That's an
equal? How come you
interesting point.
cannot
Go to work.
go to work,
Yeah.
come back home,
Yeah.
and do the exact same things that we're doing?
Let me tell you why. I would love for the world to be a certain way. I would love for women to be a certain way. Right? And I would love for men to be a certain way. Right? We cannot live in the world as we aspire for it to be. We have to live with it as it is. And one of the problems with our society and our culture is that culture and society have advanced so far, right? But human beings have not advanced with it. Let me give you a classic example. Women claim that they want independence, right? Yeah. And it's true. But at the same time, they want somebody to open doors for them, right? They want somebody to hold the door while they walk through. They want somebody to treat them like a lady, right? There's an innate thing in a woman to be provided for, right? Yeah. But they say they want to be the provider, right?
They're not saying that.
Oh, they do. Oh, they are.
No. Some of
trust
us
me.
are not saying that.
Wait, now let me tell you why you're saying that. Let me tell you because with the provider determines, he who pays for the music determines the tune.
But why can't we both do it?
What? No,
I'm
that's not how
kinda
it works.
confused because
Please.
I'm confused because the lady that's making 250K, why did she marry someone that's making 75K?
They said because they're married for love, for character.
Nah, that's not true.
No. So okay. So
That's not
wait. I'm so sorry.
That's not true.
The woman making 250K, calm down, marries a man making 75K,
Why?
right? No, she loves the good
It's
guy.
love.
That's not true.
No.
If you love him, then if you really loved him, what you guys are saying would not be a problem.
Which not what I'm saying. What
Sorry,
Esther said. It will not be a problem.
It's
That's
not a
what I'm
problem.
saying.
So I don't fall for the superficial and the surface level points.
No, let's
You might-
assume.
you might
Wait, today,
lust or-
let's assume. You see, I refuse to go there, but I get you. But let's assume that she loves the guy.
Okay, that's true.
She's not just trying to get married, though.
Okay.
She just doesn't want Mrs. by her name. She really loves the guy,
Yeah.
right?
And there are
Genuinely.
many women like that.
No, calm down.
Okay.
Esther.
Oh, yeah.
She genuinely loves the
That's
guy,
fine.
though. It's not that she wants to be married at all costs. She genuinely loves
No,
the
it's
guy.
not like she's
Yes.
very ambitious. She's getting older. She wants to get married.
No.
She just loves him.
No.
that.
We're not talking about those kind of
Oh,
people.
yeah.
No. We're talking about those
Just
that genuine affection and love.
Rare ones.
It's not
rare.
rare.
It's not rare.
Stacks.
It's not
Oh, no,
rare.
Go on.
All the single.
Wait. So she marries this guy out of genuine for the right reasons.
Societal
Yes.
pressure.
For the right
no
reason. So
family
between
pressure.
the two of them, there is $325,000 income, right? Yeah,
That was quick math, though.
yeah,
It's pretty good.
yeah. $325,000 between the two of them, right? Why do we need more?
Because we are not satisfied.
Why are we not? What? Wait, $325,000 between the two of us, yeah, and our children have the benefit of a parent all the time. Why do we need more?
Because at some point in time, the woman will step down
Step down. Why?
because of children.
Oh, okay, so she wants to step down. She really wants to step down.
She wants to step down but maintain.
No,
the
she doesn't want to
status.
step. No, wait. Wait first. Wait, go somewhere. She really wants to step down.
She wants to step down. Yes.
Okay, so she's not trying to step down, right? And she wants to step down and just be like, okay, you go chase the money. I'll stay at home and look after the kids. Is that what she wants?
Yes, that's what
It's
she
not.
wants.
It's not that she wants to continue doing what she's doing.
No.
Okay, so she wants to make less than 250.
No, she wants him to.
No.
Oh, sorry.
She wants to make less. She wants to make less. So she's ready to start making 75 while he makes 250. Really?
Yes.
She is?
Yes, she's
Okay.
She
ready.
wants to maintain
Okay.
the 255.
Yes.
Okay, no, it's okay.
No. Yes.
Okay.
I'll step down, but let's not lose
in that instance, in that circumstance, absolutely no problem.
And that what I'm saying is that is what people are looking for.
That's not what they're
I'm
looking
sorry,
for.
that makes
Let me tell you what they're
That
looking
makes
for.
no sense
Let me tell you
to
what they're
me.
looking for. Let me tell you what they're looking
I'm
for.
sorry.
Let me tell you what they're looking for, Esther, and be honest. What they're looking for is that they will keep making that 250, and that the guy too,
So it can be
making 250.
No, I think this is actually what it is. The woman is fine with making 75, has the man goes to make his 250. And the
But he doesn't have the drive. He's okay with 75. He's ready for us to move into an apartment.
it's not that I was making 250, you're making 75. Then when I came down, you didn't have ambition to go to 250. You wanted to stay at 75.
Why
She
why can't I stay at 75? I didn't marry you for your 250. I
In
didn't
this
marry you for your 250.
like you said, it's not fair. In this society, could possible.
You see?
Well, I think
I think at this point,
is a great, yeah,
at this point, we should let this matter go. Just FYI, I have no problems with. I'm surrounded by type A women. I love them. They have been a blessing to me. I believe that every parent has a responsibility to the family. It's not just the woman's responsibility or the man's responsibility. I think we should make decisions on what is best for our families in ways that work for us, within the context of who we are, right? And I think that God equips every family with a defender, and a striker. Sometimes the woman is the striker and the man is the defender. And we would be a lot happier and have more peace if we recognize that and stop trying to turn our spouse into us. Yeah? So Esther and all the other ambitious Esther and Co.
Don't get in trouble. My marriage is not your marriage. My relationship is not your relationship.
Esther and Co. I want to encourage you, right? Your weaknesses make your spouse's strength relevant, and your strengths make their weaknesses relevant. If we were exactly alike, we wouldn't need each other.
That is true.
Sounds like something out of a book. I like it, PF.
Thank you.
So, again, guys,
how did we get here?
I mean, it was good. It was organic. It was unfiltered. It was fresh. If you like what you're listening to, and you're enjoying the banter, but not just the banter, but the wisdom, from this conversation,
or the lack of it,
not yet, shall, because any woman that I'm not gonna, or any guy that I'm not gonna. But if you guys are enjoying it, please again, I want to say like, subscribe, share, but I feel like that's YouTube. Follow us on socials. Share it with your comments.
Email.
Everything. Give us your feedback. We appreciate that. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Later.
Unfiltered.